Welcome. You're watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television. I'm Morris Mohammed, and these are the stories making headlines. Somaliland's House of Representatives holds voting session on president-appointed ministers. Chairman of Somaliland Central Bank grants exclusive interview to SLN TV. U.S. President considers narrow attack on Syria. Somaliland's House of Representatives held a voting session on ministers recently appointed by President of Somaliland Ahmed Silanyo. The voting session, chaired by Speaker Abdurrahman Abdullahi Irro, had 50 parliamentarians in attendance. The appointments voted on were 5 ministers, 3 vice ministers and 1 state minister. All the ministers appointed by President Ahmed Silanyo were also approved by the House of Representatives in a unanimous vote. Chairman of Somaliland Central Bank Abdi Dirir Abdi granted an exclusive interview to our reporters on progress made, obstacle faced and prospective plans. The bank's chairman stated that although Somaliland has come a long way to reach its current stage of progress, much work remains left on the road ahead.
The National Bank implemented several major reforms since this administration took office. For instance, the total elimination of currency from neighboring nation Somalia, also known as Gimbar, in the Togdera region. Prior to this step, the usage of an illegitimate currency in Togdera caused a number of economic problems. However, Chairman Abdi Dirir Abdi was keen to state that this government will continue to make similar moves in Seoul and Sinag region, where reports confirm the usage of Gimbar. The central bank's chairman also added that the salaries of civil servants, currently estimated over 12,000 people, are paid in Somaliland shillings rather than US dollars. This is expected to strengthen the national currency rather than boosting a foreign one. In addition to that, Chairman Abdi Dirir Abdi stated that the bank welcomes the emergence of commercial banks in Somaliland. He added, the establishment of commercial banks exhibits Somaliland's growing role as a key player on a global platform.
A young author by the name of Mukhtar Jamal Muhammad published a national renowned book. The book launching ceremony took place at Golis University, and several government officials were in attendance to express their support to youth-oriented initiatives.
The book, which focuses on the enormous role a mother plays in the upbringing of a child, was warmly welcomed by the general public. And one of the most prestigious universities in the country, Golis University, hosted the event highlighting their belief in the book. Author Mukhtar Jamal Muhammad, speaking to an audience of fans, supporters, education professionals, senior faculty members of Golis University and other distinguished guests, stated that it took a lot of work to complete this book. However, dedication and persistence assisted in the final product. Minister of Youth, Sports and Tourism Ali Saeed Regal, speaking at the book launching ceremony, informed attendees that it was projects such as this one that continue to symbolize the ambition and commitment of the nation's youth demographic. The minister encouraged more people to make similar attempts. Vice Minister of Information, Culture and National Guidance Abdiwahid Abdelkader expressed optimism towards the outcome of the book and commended the author on this feat while urging the youth to do the same.
36 health professionals from 11 mother and child care centers throughout Moradijeh region participated in a training program organized by Somaliland's Ministry of Health on preventative measures aimed at curtailing birth-related difficulties faced by mothers and infants. The training program focused on better educating health professionals involved in the care of mothers. Some points of interest highlighted the need of a lengthy space between pregnancies in order for mothers to better care for their children and themselves. Regional Health Coordinator of Moradijeh, Dr. Saeed, elaborated on the significance of MCH centers and the void they continue to fill in the nation's health sector. Dr. Saeed expressed appreciation towards the hard work of these 36 health professionals and urged that they amplify efforts in providing better health care to citizens. Some of the health professionals speaking at the training program expressed gratitude towards the training extended by Somaliland's Ministry of Health, while also addressing concerns in need of immediate resolve. You're still watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for our international headlines in detail. The United States has made it clear that it would punish the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad for the brutal and flagrant chemical weapons attack that it said killed 1,429 people near Damascus last week.
The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said on Friday that the dead included 426 children. In his speech at the State Department, he described the attack as an inconceivable horror. President Barack Obama later said the U.S. was considering a limited narrow attack in response to the attack, which posed a challenge to the world. We are not considering any kind of military action that involves boots on the ground or a long-term campaign, he said. But Obama said the use of chemical weapons threatens U.S. national security and merits a response. The Syrian foreign minister has dismissed Kerry's statement as full of lies, based on fabricated evidence, insisting the rebels carried out the deadly attack. State-run news agency SANA said Kerry, who cited a U.S. intelligence report, was using material based on old stories that terrorists have been circulating for more than a week. A team of UN experts finished gathering evidence of the alleged poison gas attacks. The United Nations announced on Friday, though envoys say analyzing samples may take weeks.
The M23 rebel movement in the Democratic Republic of Congo will be withdrawing troops from the front line of fighting with Congolese and UN forces, according to the group's chief.
Bertrand Bisimwa, the civilian president of M23, said on Friday that his troops were withdrawing in order to allow what he called independent verifiers to enter the area of the battle to assess where shells had fallen in the nearby city of Goma and across the border in Rwanda. He denied that the troops were withdrawing because of battlefield casualties, an assertion that the government made. Bisimwa did not clarify how far back the M23 rebels would be withdrawing. The withdrawal comes a day after a UN peacekeeper was killed and another 7 wounded in fighting between the M23 and UN-assisted Congolese forces. The fighting was some of the fiercest in the week since the newly created UN Intervention Brigade went on the offensive, and one Tanzanian peacekeeper was killed after the rebels aimed artillery fire at their position, the UN said in a statement. The UN said on Thursday that it had established that there were consistent and credible reports of Rwandan troops entering the Democratic Republic of Congo to back the M23 rebels.
Thousands of people have turned out to greet convicted war criminal Momcilo Krajisnik on his return to Bosnia. He was released early from a British prison after serving 2/3 of a 20-year sentence. Krajisnik was arrested in 2000 and convicted by the Yugoslav War Crimes Tribunal in The Hague of persecuting and forcibly expelling non-Serbs during the 1992 to 1995 war in Bosnia. His initial 27-year sentence was reduced on appeal. Krajisnik arrived in the Bosnian Serb city of Banja Luka before a government helicopter flew him home to his wartime stronghold of Pale near Sarajevo. A branch of French hypermarket Carrefour has been raided for school supplies in Seville. The Robin Hood-style operation was organized by a Spanish left-wing labor union to highlight poverty.
Unemployment is at a 35.8% in the city, some 10% above the national average. An estimated 4 million people live in poverty and 400,000 families have no work and are not in receipt of any benefits. The school year is about to begin and many parents have no money for school supplies. This is a protest against the regional and national governments, said Diego Canamera from the Union of Andalusian Workers. 100 trolley loads were stolen for distribution to the poorest families, and the media was alerted to be on hand when the action was explained to the angry supermarket manager and the police, who later arrived.
That's all the news. Thank you for watching and goodbye.